I made one change in this VGrow Smart Box that's gonna make the plant growing in there grow much faster. Now, many of you have tuned in to the last grow series I did on this VGrow box. This video starts a new one. If you missed the last one, I will link it down in the description section below, and I also put it in the outro card. So once you're done watching this video, you can watch that one. In this video, I'll talk in detail about the changes that I made in here, and I also go over the details of the plant that's growing in there. Okay, so you can see the change I made in here. In the last grow, I was using their wick system, and I had a 3-gallon fabric grow pot with a cocoa perlite mix. Now I've gone straight DWC. So this is the DWC system that is made for the VGrow. And this thing is pretty cool, I must say. It's got an area here where you can fill water. So you can flip this up right here. It actually holds 4 gallons of water in there. One of the things you guys probably noticed right off the bat is the drain water button. So what I do is I can take this, put this into a bucket, and then press drain water, and it will actually remove the water that's in the system. So it makes things a lot easier. Basically, once you press that drain water, it's going to remove 1 gallon of water. Then you press it again, it'll remove another gallon, and so on and so forth. I believe they make it like that because in order to prevent kind of the container you're putting things in from overflowing. So just kind of like a fail-safe type thing there. It's got 2 air stones in there, and it actually has spots baked into where you put the air stones within the system. So there's really no guessing on where the air stones should be. I know oftentimes if you have the air stones positioned wrong, like if they're in a corner, for example, you might not be getting the aeration that you need in order for the plant to grow successfully. So we'll close that one out. You can see the other things I have in here. I've got the grow cam in here. This one, you guys have seen me use in the past. I don't have a micro SD card. It's actually on the way. I purchased it. It doesn't come with the camera, unfortunately. So hoping to get that within the next couple days here, and we'll get some cool time lapses. That's one thing you can do with the camera is get time lapses. So it'd be cool to actually start incorporating that footage into these videos. But this is the plant we have growing right now. This is Granddaddy Perp from Ken's Original. This one actually got through Seedsman. You hear so much about Granddaddy Perp. I mean, this is a legendary strain. Really excited to grow this out for the first time since it's such a classic. Somebody actually took this and crossed it with my Chilled OG, and the pictures they sent me were incredible. So yeah, really good combination there, I'm sure. But that's what we got going in here right now. It's actually only on day 11, I think 11 or 12. I'll put the correct day on the screen right now. I don't have it memorized here. As far as what it is in the Rapid Rooter. I believe this is a peat-based rooting plug. You can actually lift this up and we get a good look at the roots. There we go. We can see the roots coming out. Really good root zone so far. And yeah, that thing is going to be massive in the future. Anyone who has tuned into my DWC videos in the past, yeah, the root zone gets pretty crazy there. It's really cool to see. As far as lighting, I did dim down the light a little bit in order to film this video. I had it on 64%. And when I put a par meter on here, it was about 275 ppfd. I'm actually gonna bump it up a little bit right now. Once after I'm done filming this, I'll bump it up to, I don't know what percentage it's gonna be, but I'll bump it up to the point where it is about 400 ppfd. And I'll keep a close eye on it. I like to run 200 to 400 ppfd in seedling, and then I'm quickly going to be going from 400 to 600 ppfd in the veg stage. So as the plant continues to grow, I'll make sure I'm increasing that light level as needed. Environment's been pretty dialed in. This thing does a great job at dialing in the environment. I've been able to achieve about 78 degrees Fahrenheit and 0.9 kPa. It's been pretty spot on for that VPD, which is really cool to see. Now we are in the winter time, and some people might remember my last grow series. I was using this in the summertime. I was struggling to keep temperatures within the proper range. It would go over 82 degrees Fahrenheit often. It was like 84 degrees Fahrenheit it would normally sit at, which was a bit concerning. I mean, this doesn't actually have any cooling built into it. It has passive cooling. So it's really just bringing in the air that's in this room. And wintertime, a little bit chillier in this room. It's probably around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe a little bit lower than that. So that cool air is a benefit here in the winter time. So the temperature in here doesn't get too hot. In order to keep that humidity high, one of the things I have to do is add in this humidifier right here. This is the USB style humidifier. Plugs right up into the top. It's actually empty. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this. There's a little max line right there. We'll fill it up with plain water real quick. And then I'll just screw it back on. We have to kind of rotate the bottom here. Fail. All right, there we go. And then we will hold down the M button on the side, and that's gonna manually turn it back on. And I'll set this back in the corner. Right now I do have the temperature probe just kind of hanging right here. I don't know how much of a difference it's really gonna make. I should probably move this over just a little bit so it's not really messing with it. For the most part, the whole area here is gonna be pretty similar. I mean, there might be a slightly higher temperature or humidity up towards the top, but the plant's down low here. So having the temperature probe lower, I think is gonna be fine. A couple of the things that it came with, this one, which doesn't have any holes in the bottom or anything, I'm assuming it's because you put the initial heat in there and it's for before the seedling sprouts from it. So once the seedling sprouts from it, it's gonna need to be transferred to this one, which is the same one that I have in here. So they give you two. And that allows the roots to kind of drop down into the reservoir there. It also comes with one and then the additional one of the peat pellets. It doesn't come with this. This came with the initial unit. I just kind of brought this out here because I definitely want to use a trellis net this time around. That's one thing with the last grow I didn't do, would you utilize a trellis. It came with the VGrow, I just forgot to utilize it. And so this should definitely help with training. Let's talk about nutrition in the reservoir. So I'm using VivoSun nutrients. They have a base A and base B. And it says instructions on the back of the bottle, pretty straightforward. For seedling clones, 1 to 3 milliliters per gallon. Once I go into veg, I'm gonna have to bump that up to 5 to 9 milliliters per gallon. And that's equal for A and B. So it'll be, for example, I started out with just doing 2 milliliters per gallon. I did that for A and then another 2 milliliters per gallon for B. And then I do have things to adjust the pH in case it needs to adjust. pH up and pH down. That's also by VivoSun. And then using their meters, of course, to see what the pH and TDS EC is. Once I do that initial mix, I then pH down to about 5.8. And what will happen is, past experience, I've noticed that the pH slowly drifts up over the period of a week. And that's okay. I'm not constantly going in there every day and adjusting it, as long as it doesn't go too high. If it reaches 6.2, 6.3, that's when I'm going to start to worry a little bit and I might make an adjustment. However, by that point, it's usually the next week where I have to empty out the reservoir and add in a new nutrient solution anyway. So it usually works out pretty good timing there. But I used those nutrients last run and had some really good results. So that's how the plant looks so far, coming up to 2 weeks in the box. Really eager to see how this plant progresses. Stick around, click that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can be notified when I release the next video on this. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. That helps a ton with YouTube algorithm and pushing this video to more viewers. And in the outro cut, I'm gonna link the first video to the last grow series I did on the VGrow box. So for those of you that missed that one, you can check it out right now. Thank you all so much for tuning in this time around, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.